everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Nick, and welcome back to the Dr. Nick Show. So, today's topic is a little bit different than what I've been doing for quite a while. I usually talk about, a figure I got, show it off, show an item in my collection, talk about a specific, thing that's going on in wrestling. A lot of different things, movies, all kinds of stuff. So today is a little bit different. I am almost 40 years old. I turned 39 back in March. And I don't know if this is just... I've heard it's pretty common that, you kind of hit that point in your life where you put a lot of perspective on, things that you've done, things that you haven't done, things that you would like to accomplish. And of course, myself have always been, very, a lot of people would say it negatively, but stuck in the past. I'll put it to you this way. I have a very huge fondness of the past, of nostalgia. The TV shows that I grew up watching, the music, the figures and other toys that I had back then and, still collect now. Because I'm not just a fan of wrestling. I'm, a fan of Ghostbusters, Star Wars, Ninja Turtles. I had Power Rangers when I was a kid. Video games, Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo, so on and so forth. And, it's one of those things where, especially now, I know a lot of people, including myself, find a lot of comfort in nostalgia. And some people may say that, you need to forget the past. You need to move forward. You need to focus on moving forward. And I understand that. I get it. For those longtime watchers of the channel, I don't like to talk about it on a huge scale, but I have depression. I have anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a handful of other mental illnesses that, I've been working on for many years. And I also have a lot of physical problems. And for those people that have anxiety, you know that seeing the outcome of a show and knowing what it's going to be is very comforting. Just like people have comfort foods, pizza, mashed potatoes, fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, biscuits and gravy. I mean, those are just some of my favorite comfort foods. Desserts, cobbler, pie, things like that. I'm a big dude. So, I mean, I love my food. And let me just show you something real quick. So even something as simple as this right here. This is one of the two. I have the Cordy from Boy Meets World Funko Pop, and I also have the Topanga. So, obviously, this was a show that was, on in the 90s and went into the early 2000s. Great show, a lot of good memories. TGIF, for those who grew up in the 90s, was a huge thing. Shows like Full House, Family Matters, Step by Step, and then going back even further, you had, Perfect Strangers, and, there was other shows thrown in, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, different things. And I find a lot of comfort in watching a lot of the shows I grew up with. Same thing with going back and watching, the wrestling events, the Rumbles, the SummerSlam, reminiscing about, how I used to go jump on my bike when I was a teen and, ride down to the local video store and, pick up a stack of wrestling VHS Coliseum video for like $1 a piece. It was like 5 for $5. And I, made pretty good friends with the people that worked there. So, they would always let me know when some of the new releases were coming. And I'd stop by on the way back a little bit farther down to the drugstore. At that time it was Revco, but now it's CVS. But I'd stop in there and get the newest edition of WWF Magazine, maybe get some candy bars. And I'd go home and, have a heck of a week or weekend. So it as much as I love the convenience of having Peacock and then prior to that WWE Network, it was a lot simpler times without a lot of the technology. Technology is convenient, but it also took away a lot of the personality of a lot of the things that we did. Sometimes I wish that, not only myself but others, we were not so addicted to cell phones and computers and things like that. Prior to that, a cell phone was just exactly what it was. You called people, and that was it. And then texting came along, and the internet, and, all the social media sites, and, pretty much you have in your pocket a, portable computer. Our computer was in the living room on the other side of the dining room. It was a NEC, and then we went to a Dell and, whatever. And then I ended up getting my own laptop. And I just became obsessed with being on MySpace all the time and Facebook. And, prior to that, I could not care less. I'd get online occasionally on the family computer, play some CDs, listen to some music, play some solitaire, maybe go to, WWE.com and, check out some stuff, but it wasn't anything like it is now, nowhere near. But I think, as a society, and I'm not saying that, we should get rid of all technology and all electronics, but I think as a society and, as people, we've become so reliant on our devices. And I mean, just as an example, like, I'll throw this out there. When you go to a family gathering, how many people have their phones out and they're scrolling and looking on Facebook and everything? And I'm guilty of this too. There's not a whole lot of conversing. And I know this is cliche, but not a lot of people sit together anymore at the family table and, just discuss about how each other's days were. Growing up in my childhood home, we all sat up at, either the table in the dining room or we had a little island in the kitchen, and my chair was on the end. My dad would sit on this side, and my mom would sit on this side, and then my brother would sit on the end. And we had bar stools, and that's where we would eat food. And I know as time's gone on, more people are way busier than usual, and they eat at different times. I ended up getting a TV in my room eventually, when I was probably I don't know, 9 or 10 maybe. And it was just a simple TV, it got a handful of stations. The stations were Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and, just maybe odds and ends would catch, cartoons and stuff. And of course, watching wrestling on USA or, whatever. But We didn't have we had a VCR and we had, a handful of VHS tapes, but it wasn't all these different channels. Um, the major networks like CBS, ABC, those were times where we would be in the living room, the main, TV in the house, and we would watch TV as a family. Whether it was, MASH, Miami Vice, Cheers. I remember Murphy Brown was on CBS. We'd watch, a lot of different shows during the week. But that was it. We didn't have a lot of the channels. We didn't get those until years later. We were pumped to get, shows like that. So, to get, HGTV in the History Channel and things like that, that was huge. So, I just, as much as I love technology, as much as I love everything that has, come along with, we've got digital stuff now, which can be a pain in the butt, especially, with you not owning it. And I've talked about this before, I prefer physical media over digital. And I think, a lot of people don't realize that if we go away 100% from, physical media, look what's already happened. Sony and a couple other places, once that movie's taken off of that platform, you may not be able to get it. It may be out of print. It may be, an older movie that hasn't been on anything other than VHS. It may have not been to DVD and Blu-ray. Pardon my dogs. So having a large physical media collection, I really like having that. I still collect movies, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I still get the physical copy of games. I still get the physical copy of CDs a lot of times if I really enjoy the artist or band or whatever. With the announcement earlier this year of WWE not doing physical media anymore was kind of a disappointment, because I would still get the Manias and the Rumbles and the Survivor Series and the SummerSlams. I always liked getting the big four pay-per-views physically. And I will pick up a lot of the other ones if I see them for cheap. I go to Disc Replay a lot and get a lot of used movies. So that's always nice. I like going in there and looking at movies that I may have never heard of before and have never seen and have wanted to. And they're relatively, decently priced versus, buying them brand new, either on Amazon or eBay or whatever. Pawn shops are really good to pick those up. So, but yeah, I stress this a lot, especially for the younger generation. Enjoy your time as, a kid or a teen or whatever. Being an adult sucks. I will tell you that it is not a lot of fun. I will say that there are perks, but all in all, to be honest with you, what I miss the most is, living at home and being in my room, having my family there. It was simple times, sitting in my chair at my desk, watching my little 20-inch TV with my Mountain Dew and my Doritos on a Monday night, watching Monday Night Raw. Had my VCR, and then, later on I had my own recliner in my room and, had all my movies in there. Not a worry in the world, really. I mean, I still worried about a lot. That happens when you have anxiety, but there wasn't a whole lot of worry. I mean, I had a job. I didn't have any bills other than my cell phone and, my car insurance, but I didn't have utility bills. I didn't have to worry about health insurance. I didn't have to worry about, any of that. So definitely cherish the time you have as a kid or a teenager. Those carefree times don't last as long as you think they do. You will look back, as I do, and go, wow, like I grew up in an awesome time before technology was just this juggernaut. I was born in 85. So, we had Nintendo. We had computers, but we didn't get one until like 95. So, it wasn't a huge thing. I still have the VCR from when I was young, which is really cool. Very happy to have that. I guess you could call me an organized hoarder because I have a ton of stuff that I just never got rid of. And I love the fact that I held on to all those things. I hope that, I don't know, I guess this just was a way for me to come on here and just kind of vent, kind of talk about things, kind of get things off my chest. I want to thank everybody for subscribing. I want to thank everybody for commenting, liking the video. I'm trying to grow this channel as much as possible. I would appreciate any input. Likes help, comments help, all of those things help. So I just wanted to, come on here, have a little discussion with you, and, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon to make sure you're notified of all future videos, and Dr. Nick will see you later.